She lives in a flat all by herself, and her family said she's an absolutely lovely person. And her daughter, Valerie Knight, said there's only one thing that she'd really like. You see, unfortunately, Kathy is suffering a bit from arthritis, and she does find it very difficult to get out shopping, get up the stairs to the flat and whatever, but particularly her viewing pleasure is spoiled because she's got a very old television set. It keeps breaking down, but anyway, it hasn't got a remote control, so she can't control it from the seat, so she's got to keep getting up and down. So there is the plot for the Gift Busters. It's worth thinking that if a man on the television started talking to you in your own home, would you start talking to him back? Secondly, remember, the Gift Busters have got a special camera with the speakers on the outside. So in fact, I was miles away in another flat talking to her the day that the Gift Busters called on Kathy Johnson.
You want help now? And you don't know how? All you do is call Gift Busters.
No.
You need some way to make their day. Who you gonna call? Gift Busters. Go.
Good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. We're just doing a little bit of a survey about consumer interest in television. Can I ask the lady in the white jacket there, your favourite television programme?
Sports mostly, and live, truth.
Do you have a modern television facility of your own?
No, well, I've got one, but it's very old. Yeah, it'll work for a little while, and then it breaks off. It suddenly goes off, and
Well, it's marvellous to talk to you, Mrs. Johnson, this afternoon. I wonder whether you'd be good enough to continue on your way home and maybe do us the favour of immediately you get to your home turning on your television set. Would that be possible?
yes. You sure you got the right address?
So good to be home.
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson, it must be good to be home after being out shopping, yeah?
Yes, rather. Yes.
I wonder if we could ask you to go through into your front room.
Yes.
That's it. And tell me a little bit about your television set. You're reasonably pleased with it, but it doesn't necessarily give you the kind of satisfaction that you demand as a discerning viewer.
No, for one reason, I've got arthritis in my knees, and I have to keep getting up and pressing the button, and
Right.
changing it over when it goes all
Yeah, that's inconvenient.
haywire, or else it cuts off completely.
Have you any idea why there is a strange camera in your living room?
Strange camera in my living room.
Well, there's all these strange people looking
Well,
at you.
yes.
Does this happen most afternoons?
Never. No, but I'm so puzzled about.
So we've got you curious.
Definitely.
Would you like to know the next part of the story?
Oh, yes.
Well, would you tune into your television now? Would you be good enough to turn it on? And we'll see what programmes you can come up with. This is BBC One. Good afternoon to you. In a moment, we have more cricket coverage from Trent Bridge. However, we now have an additional programme hosted by Noel Edmonds.
Well, a very good afternoon to you. In this very first show, we're going to go to Chingford, where my special guest is Mrs. Kathy Johnson. Very good afternoon. Is this the first time that you've taken part in a television programme?
I'm not taking part in it, am I? What's it about? This is what's puzzling me. I can't make out
What's going on?
what's going on. Yes.
Well, you've got a problem with your television set, yes?
Oh yes, I do have problems.
Plays up sometimes and doesn't give you the sort of picture you want.
Yes, that's right. It cuts off completely sometimes.
And it hasn't got a remote control.
No,
Right.
no, that's one of the big things.
Would you do me a favour, Mr. Johnson? Do not move from your chair. There's a man just over here who's our technical expert, and I'm just going to ask his advice as to what we could possibly do for you.
Oh, would you?
Yes, hang on one moment. Good afternoon. And it's a great pleasure to meet you. Do please sit. It's a great pleasure to meet you. Do please sit down. I'm sorry to do this to you, but in some respects I'm not sorry at all. I hope that this has been a pleasant surprise rather than a bad shock. It's your daughter Valerie who contacted the Giftbusters and said that you would really like a replacement for the TV. So I have here your brand new television set, complete with remote control.
I've never had a new colour television.
Well, I've just delivered it.
Oh no. Oh,
We'll plug in the new TV and make it work for you. Is it a good surprise?
shock!
Kathy in North London, I hope the new set's performing all right. Remember the promise, you said you'd watch me every time I'm on TV. Tomorrow, I'm doing a programme from Farnborough, Monday night, 8 o'clock, telly, Alex. There is somebody in your life that